So we're here at the Moustache factory, and they are in the process of still moving into this new factory. It's been a couple of years since I visited the old factory, which was producing up to about 25,000 bikes, but now this factory is capable of producing 100,000 Bosch electric bikes a year. It's really awesome, and we're going to take you on a little tour around and show how these fantastic bikes are made. So we're here with Matteo, who is the production manager.
Yes.
For the new site. You were the production manager of the old site as well.
Yes, I was.
So it must be exciting for you this time.
Yeah, very exciting because the site is very bigger than the older one. We have a lot of tools, very useful tools that helps the ergonomy for worker.
Yeah.
So that's a very big point of view. And we have a production capacity which is very higher than in the old site.
So that's about 100,000 is the capacity of this site, is it?
This site?
Yeah.
180 per day.
Yeah.
But I don't know for over here, but we will manage as we would like to produce.
Yeah. And in the old site, it was about 25,000 bikes a year, which would be what? What's that? About 90?
100 per day.
90, okay, 100 per day.
90 or
yeah.
100 per day.
Okay, cool.
On the model or
So it's basically at this current stage, it's immediately doubled, but there's a lot of room for growth even further.
And we will manage a lot of method improvement for the factory. So we will upgrade and increase
efficiency.
our efficiency. And all other parts are coming from Europe, and then we are preparing all the bikes part for the assembly just in front here.
Do you know the numbers per day, what they're making?
180 bikes per day, depending of the model.
So a Lundi, for example, will take longer than a
VTT, like 2 times longer than a VTT.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's because mainly of the integrated cables. So you can see here we've got a Samadi 28.3 medium open there, but on here we have a Lundi. Now you can see him actually integrating the cables there. Now that process is a very long process.
That's a hard process, and then we have to adjust all the mudguard, the front one and the rear one.
I bet the offset of the mudguard and the carrier as well, and all that kind of stuff, because these are, with Moustache, like little things that you notice that are different just from looking at the bikes here is obviously they use metal mudguards. You know, that obviously lasts a lot longer than any plastic mudguard, but obviously it takes a lot longer to get right and assemble. And they're all the cables are run through the mudguards as well, and the lights are obviously fully integrated as well. And that's the kind of attention to detail that you notice about Moustache in our showroom compared to other bikes which are just kind of dashed around. Okay, cool. So this is the Friday 27 FS. It's one of the most popular bikes we sell in London, and we're going to actually see it come completely out of the box at this stage, which is very exciting. So this is now sealed from the factory in Taiwan, and we're unsealing it for the first time, and then we're going to look how the components go on. I love this bike for a number of reasons. Now, particularly because of the rear sus. I mean, people would think that is complete madness to have that in the city, but it's not so much about the travel. It's about the lack of travel and the control and comfort that it actually adds. And the shock's designed completely by Moustache in-house. I'm massively impressed after riding it. It's so good. So those swivel bars are fantastic if you live in a apartment or you're parking it regularly in a bike rack, because you don't actually need a tool to adjust them. They're fantastic. So the Friday has been going since Moustache started, and It was originally a 26-inch wheel bike, and then they changed it to a 27.5, and then this season they integrated the full suspension. I mean, it's just brilliant. It's, you know, thick tyres, sporty position, it's a fun weekday bike. So you have 10 bays, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And then all are similar, so we can share the work between all of them.
So in that box is just a pre-wired frame.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. And that's what comes in from Taiwan, where basically all good e-bikes are made, and then this will come separately from Germany.
The Bosch drive unit comes from Hungary.
From Hungary, sorry, yeah.
German.
Yeah.
Brand is German, but
Yeah.
you can see the saddle from Celeria.
Yeah.
And you can see all the parts difference, but
Yeah.
all this part is mostly coming from Europe.
Yeah.
That's why they
Yeah.
are preparing separately from the pre-assembly here.
Okay. Cool. And then obviously these stations are more or less identical in symmetry. So you've got everything that goes on the left-hand side of the bike here, which would obviously be, you know, brakes and the left-hand side of the bike. But then on this side, you've just got gears.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay.
That's
Fine.
why there is two boxes.
Yeah. Okay.
There is a box mostly used in the left side and the other one mostly used in the right side. It's the same things on the box here, but they are all the same here.
That's great. Yeah.
All the same.
Once they are completed here, then the next station is quality control as such. So now we can see basically a finished product going in. Yeah. Apart from obviously the bits that we put on ourselves, like the stand, the pedals, and the front wheel. But other than that, it's finished product. We obviously test all of the gears and stuff again, because there's a chance they might have been
That's it.
slightly knocked by the couriers.
Here, in fact, the worker will check every point which are assembled in the step before. Okay, so we will check the rear derailleur, the brakes, and all the couple tighten, and the assembly of the drive unit, which is very, very important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fantastic, especially these new boxes. They, you know, the damage is so minimal. Like it's like 1 in 100 bikes will be damaged now for us, whereas before in the large boxes it was a higher rate. So these bikes are all ready to be shipped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are ready to be managed for logistic things,
Yeah.
and they are. We send like 150 or 180 bikes per day,
Yeah.
and it's on the other way.
Should we go and have a look around there?
Yeah, we can have a look.
Okay, so the finished bikes get pushed through into these rows 3s and 4, yeah? And then they get pushed through into 1 before they go into the truck, or?
That's it.
Yeah.
After the last stage in production, they are storage here, and then all the bikes are just placed and addresses in this alley.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So we might even see some with fully charged written on them,
Maybe.
ready to be dispatched. So
Yes, maybe.
and how does he get it in such a perfect straight line? Well, this is really cool. Wow. So we're ordering about 50 bikes a month at the moment from Moustache, and basically this is a section that are beginning their life here, that will be christened in London, and then they will go on to take their journeys all over the UK. And we do actually export some bikes as well to some foreign territories, even the Caribbean we've sent Moustaches to. So yeah, it's really exciting to think that these new babies will be joining us soon in London. It takes about 7 days from order, so we'll be able to show you in the video them arriving and then being PDI'd and delivered. which is awesome. Gregory, what was the first moment that you decided to devote your life to the e-bike industry? What was the first the clicking moment?
I remember really well the one of the first rides that MTB. It was an MTB ride that we had with Emmanuel. It was quite close to here, on a nice trail, and we were like kids testing our first e-mountain bike. And I mean, bike has always been part of our life. We all love bicycles here. There is a lot of passion behind the project, and all the people are really passionate. And the idea behind that was that with e-bike we could open doors not only to cyclists, I mean conventional cyclists, but also to people that were not used to cycle. So for us it was a real opportunity to open that that
to
use.
everyone. Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, and so you decided that was testing a homemade kit, was it, or?
No, it was already on a standard bike, not from Moustache, because at that stage we didn't have any. Some prototypes that we bought, and Emmanuel got some in his garage at that time. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is this pre-Bosch or?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and then obviously we saw the first ones come out from Hi-Bike, essentially, were the first ones that I know of with the Bosch system. But you, by that time, had got your name and got everything sorted, and you were raring to go when that first Hi-Bike EMTB came out, which I think was a hardtail.
2011 probably. Yeah.
You were ready to. I mean, you had already signed up as such to create Moustache, which is awesome. And at that point, you were like still a 3-man team.
Yes. Yeah. It was just the two of us. The first guy we hired was in beginning of 2012 when we started the production here.
Yeah.
But out of that, we have been also we got a great help from the family and friends, and because we're working all the time during the weekends and
For us, because we started not too long after you. We started in 2014. I officially launched, but we were, I met you in I think 2014, which was a year before I launched, and came up to you and told you I was going to be one of your biggest customers, which I'd like to wave my flag high today and say that came true. But there's a lot of very good businesses out there that are doing very well, like the chaps over in Queenstown. Chargeabout. Yeah, and other great companies that are doing it in a different way. Like Chargeabout is obviously focusing on adventure and touring and stuff like that, which is fantastic, especially in somewhere like Queenstown. But yeah, I mean, you've seen the markets move very fast, but I guess the UK is quite far behind other markets.
Yeah, what we can see, what is interesting with the e-bike market is that if we look at the curve and the development of the market, it is always the same shape. But if you look at the European market between the different countries, the difference is just a question of timing. Let's say that Germany is 4 or 5 years ahead, the French market, which is again a few years in advance compared to the UK market.
Yeah.
But the good point is that we can really feel a strong trend, and we know that the future will be with a big E in the bicycle industry.
100%. Yeah. Anyone that doesn't know that is either mad or kidding themselves, basically. I think that another thing that we were talking about is the fact that it used to be kind of 60-40 for the EMTB off-road market versus the commuter market. And we've obviously seen that shift is now probably more like 50-50 with you. And I think in London, we're certainly seeing it flip the other side now, which is really exciting. I mean, that's one of my passions was living in a city. I mean, I grew up in the countryside like you, but I moved and lived in London from about 18 years old, and seeing the kind of combustion and the kind of illegal pollution levels, that's a huge inspiration for me as to why I've given my life to the e-bike market. Yeah, it's a great thing, really making that difference and seeing that we're fixing the world. So talk us through the DNA of Moustache.
Yeah, the DNA is something really important for Moustache and for ourselves with Emmanuel and all the people, because we have some strong values inside the company that are the same since the beginning, and this is really important for the philosophy we have here. And especially focusing on some very strong points, like in 2011 we were 100% dedicated to e-bike, so we are clearly a pure player, and this is also part of our, let's say, mentality. So everybody is thinking about e-bikes here. The second point is that the range of Moustache is quite wide, and the idea is that we can offer all the kind of bikes that are fitting the use. I mean, we were talking about urban bikes, so we have this really nice and comfortable and iconic bike like the Lundy.
I love that bike. Yeah.
But within the range, you can also find like some very high-end MTB for purists and guys that
specific,
are looking.
Yes, really specific stuff, and it's cool the way it's done with days of the week as well, which simplifies it for kind of like people doing their early stages of research. Obviously, Lundy, typical Monday bike, and then Friday, fun bike, and then the Samedi family, which are consisting of mountain bikes EMTBs, as well as trekking and exploring bikes. And then you have the Dimanche. Now, there's a lot of new stuff going on with Dimanche, which is exciting, because that whole Sunday cycling market it's a big market, and they've been probably the slowest to shift onto the e-power. But we're really seeing it now. Play all day, do more, see more, have more fun.
We can clearly see that all the kind of bikes are getting electrified at a certain point. Sometimes it takes a little bit more time. For example, on the MTB, at the very beginning it was purely mobility bikes and purely urban, and then after a few years we could clearly see that it was more leisure, and now also there is a big place for big space for the EMTB. But the idea is that EMTB e-bike will be touching all the categories. Another point important is that we are 100% Bosch equipped. So this is also part of our DNA, and Bosch is now the benchmark on the market. So they are also part of our life. And another point which is really important is that we have all our design and R&D under control. That means that Emmanuel and all the R&D team are working 100% on the design and the conception of the bikes. So all the details that you can see on the bike that have a real added value for the customers, it is all designed here. And Moustache is, I would say, a big mix of, on one side, a lot of design. We want to work on that part of the bike, because this is important for us. I mean, visually speaking. But there is no compromise on the technical parts. So it means that when we need to bring, for example, stiffness on the tubes, to have stiffer bikes so that people can really feel secure, we can work on that.
So nothing comes out of your control. Everything is managed well and done in-house, which is amazing.
Yes, and what is also important behind these technical details is that I mean, we are targeting people that are cycling already, but most of the people they are not cycling, and they will probably turn to bicycle, but they need to feel good on the bikes. They need to feel secure. They need to sit well, and I would say that Moustache is also a big amount of small details that show we really care about the customer.
Yeah, no, it's really apparent. I mean, especially in store in London, you know, when people, you know, they really enjoy doing their research and they really go into detail. And a lot of people do come in looking at maybe, you know, another manufacturer that they might have heard of, but the majority of people will end up leaving with a Moustache when they get to see it in a non-manufacturer bias neutral platform. You know, it's nice to see that, you know, the conversions are going towards Moustache, you know, 70% of the time, which is really strong.
Yeah. And the assembling is also a really important point, because we are probably the only company where the bikes are individually assembled from zero to the end.
Hello. Come over here, sir. How you doing?
Sorry.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Okay, so now we're here with Emmanuel, which is the co-founder of Moustache, and started here as a two-man team with Gregory back in 2011.
Yes.
So what's your role in Moustache, if you had to sum it up in a couple of sentences?
My role is to think about new product and to develop them, so to anticipate the needs of users. So in the team we are quite creative. Usually I have too many ideas, so the target is to come back to something which is let's say workable, and then we have with the R&D team, like we are 7 people in total, so we try to bring the ideas reality and to make the best product for customers, for ourselves. And
so controlling the future of Moustache whilst curating the best componentry you can possibly find.
Yeah, not only find, but also we develop them. Yeah, we make them. And you know, you just catch me between 2 test sessions. So now we are currently testing some new prototypes. And this is
fun. This is a really fun.
That's the fun part. Actually. Not always fun, because we have the pressure of timing. So we have always to do the things in not in short time. We take the time we need, but there is the time is running, and we have always new ideas to bring to the market. So
one of my favourite things recently is the Friday 27 FS Limited, the rear shock. That is something that you guys have developed in-house, and it's not for travel, it's not for this, it's just purely for control and comfort.
Exactly.
And it is absolutely fantastic. I love it. So thank you.
Thanks.
And well done.
Okay, thank you very much.
Cool, man. Well, go back and enjoy your testing, and nice to see you. And I'll see you in June.
Okay,
when I come out to see all the new bikes.
Okay, see you.
See you. Bye.